Love is often seen as a bond of trust, a sanctuary of safety, and the foundation of our deepest connections. But what happens when that trust is shattered and the person you cherish the most becomes your greatest threat? Throughout history, love stories have taken dark and unexpected turns, transforming into tales of betrayal, jealousy, and murder. These aren't just crimes, they're shocking acts of passion that expose the fragile line between devotion and destruction. In this video, we'll uncover chilling stories of lovers turned killers, exploring what drives these betrayals and the terrifying reality that love can sometimes become deadly. The thin line between love and obsession. The boundary between love and obsession is often fragile, and when crossed, it can lead to dangerous and even deadly outcomes. Obsession begins when love morphs into an uncontrollable need for possession, where one partner seeks to dominate or control the other. This extreme attachment is fueled by insecurities, fear of abandonment, and the inability to accept rejection. When the obsession intensifies, it erodes trust, communication, and rationality, making the relationship volatile. The tragic case of Jodi Arias and Travis Alexander serves as a chilling example. Jodi's obsessive love and jealousy ultimately drove her to commit a brutal murder after feeling spurned and replaced in Travis' life. Psychologists explain that obsessive love often blinds individuals to reality, creating an emotional dependency that turns toxic. This toxic dynamic becomes a breeding ground for manipulation, stalking, and escalating violence. The obsessive partner often justifies their extreme actions as acts of love, failing to see the harm they are inflicting. In some cases, the fear of losing their partner or their perceived sense of control can trigger catastrophic consequences. Stories like these highlight the destructive power of obsession and serve as cautionary tales of how love, when twisted into obsession, can transform into a force of unimaginable harm. Jealousy, the silent killer in relationships. Jealousy, a natural but powerful emotion, can become a silent killer when it takes over a relationship. While a small amount of jealousy might seem harmless or even flattering, unchecked jealousy can spiral into paranoia and rage, leading to tragic outcomes. When one partner suspects infidelity or betrayal, the fear of losing their loved one often triggers irrational thoughts and actions. The case of Chris Watts is a haunting example. His desire to start a new life with someone else, coupled with jealousy over his wife's role in their family, led him to commit unthinkable acts of violence against his wife and children. His story reflects how jealousy, when paired with selfish motives, can drive someone to cross moral boundaries. Psychologists suggest that jealousy stems from deep-seated insecurities and a lack of trust, often exacerbated by poor communication and unresolved conflicts within the relationship. As jealousy grows, it can erode a partner's sense of rationality, making them more prone to acts of revenge or control. This emotion feeds on doubt and suspicion, often distorting reality and creating a toxic environment. In extreme cases, jealousy escalates to violence as the jealous partner seeks to eliminate the perceived threat to their relationship. Such tragedies serve as stark reminders of how critical it is to address jealousy early, before it transforms into a destructive force. Financial motives behind love turn lethal. Money can be a powerful motivator in relationships, but when financial gain becomes more important than love, it can lead to betrayal and, in extreme cases, murder. Some individuals view their partners as stepping stones to wealth or a way to escape financial stress. When these expectations are unmet or when greed takes over, the outcome can be deadly. This is evident in cases involving the so-called Black Widow killers, where individuals married their partners with the intent to murder them and claim insurance payouts or inheritances. Such cold-blooded actions reveal how greed can corrupt the foundation of even the most seemingly intimate relationships. Psychologists and criminologists point out that financial stress and materialism often fuel tensions in relationships, creating a toxic environment where betrayal feels justified. In some cases, financial dependency can foster resentment, while in others, the allure of a better life without a partner leads to calculated crimes. The betrayal becomes even more shocking because money, something external to the relationship, overshadows the emotional connection. These stories highlight the darker side of human ambition and serve as a grim reminder of how the pursuit of wealth can turn love into a dangerous game of manipulation and deceit. Domestic abuse and the breaking point. Domestic abuse is a silent epidemic that often goes unnoticed until it escalates into tragedy. Many relationships that end in violence have a history of abuse, where one partner exerts control over the other through physical, emotional, or psychological manipulation. The cycle of abuse, characterized by tension, violent outbursts, and periods of remorse, traps victims in fear and helplessness. Over time, the victim may reach a breaking point, where years of suppressed anger and desperation lead to fatal consequences. One such case is Lorena and John Bobbitt, where years of alleged abuse culminated in Lorena's act of extreme retaliation. While not a murder, the case underscores how abuse can escalate into drastic actions. Psychologists note that in abusive relationships, power dynamics play a significant role in creating a toxic environment. The abuser often isolates their partner, breaking their spirit and eroding their sense of self-worth, making it nearly impossible to leave. When the victim finally takes action, it's often in the heat of overwhelming emotions or as an act of survival. On the other hand, abusers themselves sometimes escalate their violence to fatal levels, believing it's the ultimate way to maintain control. These tragic outcomes shed light on the importance of addressing domestic abuse early and providing support to those trapped in its cycle before it turns deadly. The psychology of betrayal. Why lovers kill. Understanding why lovers kill often requires delving into the depths of human psychology and the complex emotions that drive such acts. At the heart of betrayal lies unresolved insecurities, childhood traumas, and deeply ingrained fears of abandonment. These emotional triggers, when combined with the pressures of a failing relationship, can push individuals to commit the unthinkable. For instance, in the case of Betty Broderick, years of feeling unappreciated, betrayed, and replaced by her ex-husband's new relationship led her to murder him and his second wife. Her story reflects how betrayal can act as a catalyst for long-buried anger and resentment to explode into violence. Psychologists emphasize that toxic relationship dynamics often play a crucial role in these betrayals. Patterns of manipulation, emotional abuse, and power struggles create an environment where trust erodes and negative emotions fester. When one partner feels cornered or perceives a loss of control, they may act out in destructive ways, believing violence is their only way to regain power or express their pain. This psychological unraveling, combined with impulsivity or premeditation, makes betrayal within intimate relationships one of the most chilling and complex aspects of human behavior. Understanding these triggers is essential for preventing such tragedies and fostering healthier relationship dynamics. Society's fascination with crimes of passion. Crimes of passion captivate society because they blend the intensity of love with the shock of betrayal, creating stories that are both relatable and horrifying. These cases often involve emotions everyone has experienced: jealousy, heartbreak, or the fear of abandonment, magnified to deadly extremes. As a result, they tap into deep-seated fears and curiosities, making them prime material for headlines, documentaries, and even movies. High-profile cases, like those of Scott Peterson or Amanda Knox, spark widespread fascination because they challenge our perception of relationships and human behavior. The public is drawn to the paradox of love transforming into violence, questioning how something so beautiful can turn so dark. This cultural obsession with crimes of passion also reveals how society uses these stories to explore its own vulnerabilities. By consuming tales of lovers turned killers, people seek to understand the warning signs of toxic relationships and the triggers that lead to betrayal. These narratives often blur the lines between victim and perpetrator, sparking debates over motives, mental health, and justice. Additionally, media sensationalism plays a significant role in amplifying this fascination, turning real-life tragedies into spectacles. In doing so, these stories not only entertain but also serve as cautionary tales, prompting individuals to reflect on the complexities of love, trust, and human behavior. Thank you for joining us on this journey through some of the most gripping cases in celebrity history.